Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. Welcome back to my regular subscribers and to my new subscribers and viewers. Welcome. From timcast.com. Biden discusses how he feels about the possibility of Trump running again in 2024. Now, I touched on this in another episode, but I think it's worth repeating. Here he is, President Biden, in Brussels at a NATO summit. He holds a press conference after meeting with world leaders. Okay, it's all legit. He's talking to the international press. So bad-mouthing an opponent is probably a pretty crappy thing to do. To your own press and your own internal news agencies and such like that, yeah, it's fair game. It's kind of like a family thing. But this is the part that no matter what happens, whether Trump runs again or not, I think you should never, ever, ever vote for this man for president again, just for this one reason. And believe me, there's hundreds of reasons not to. President Biden briefly discussed how he would feel running against former President Donald Trump in the 2024 election on Thursday. And the reporter brought it up, in all fairness. The topic came while Biden was speaking at a press conference in Brussels, Belgium, about the additional funds the U.S. will be sending in aid for Ukraine. We could use those funds on the border, but I digress. A reporter asked if NATO and the Biden administration were taking steps to make sure that what they do now will not be undone if the president loses the next election. The next election, I'll be very fortunate if I had that same man run against me, Biden said. Now, here's what he said. German reporter asked Biden about Trump coming back. Biden's brain snaps in a panic as he rambles on about Nazis. Now, I'm just going to show you, listen to the one part here, and I'm going to tell you why you should never, ever, ever vote for this man again.
The impact, I made a commitment when I ran this time. I wasn't going to run again, and I mean that sincerely. I had no intention of running for president again.
Why?
And until I saw those folks coming out of the fields in Virginia carrying torches and carrying Nazi banners and literally singing the same vile rhyme that they used in Germany in the early 20s, or 30s, I should say. And then when the gentleman you mentioned was asked what he thought, and a young woman was killed, a protester, and was asked what he thought, he said, "They're very good people on both sides." And
that's a lie. It's taken out a contextual lie. It's a lie of omission. He called the Nazis, the torch carriers, the scumbags. I think he actually called them scumbags and pieces of blank. Said it right out loud. The protest was about the removal of a Robert E. Lee statue. A person, I think, in American history, some could call him a traitor. But actually, if the war had gone a different way, George Washington was a traitor. So it's a term depending on how you look at it. You're a traitor if your side loses. If your side wins, you're a hero. Well, that's a pretty crappy definition. Robert E. Lee was a stand-up guy. Maybe too stand-up guy. And in fact, he said later in life his biggest mistake was a military career, but I digress. Also, by the way, he was offered the command of all of the Union forces. A man of integrity. And so the issue was the removal of the statue. And Trump said, there's some very good people on both sides of that issue. And just prior to him saying that, he basically called all the Nazis scumbags. And this guy lies like this. It's a lie. But here's the part that's even over and above the fact that it's a lie. He's talking to international press. You don't say such a horrible lie about a former president of the United States. I would never talk that way about Barack Obama, and I couldn't stand him as president. I thought he sucked. He was horrible. I thought Bush Jr., even though better, but not by much. But I would never say such a horrendous lie to either of those as a candidate or a citizen. And here he is. International press on a foreign land. Basically calling a former president of the United States a Nazi sympathizer. You suck. Talk about absolutely over the line. Over the line. Biden, who had mentioned Trump by name in his response, said he does not make foreign policy decisions based on elections. Bull crap. They all do. No election is worth my not doing exactly what I think is right thing. Well, that's the problem. Even Barack Obama's former defense, foreign relations aide, advisor, I forget his name, said every single time Joe Biden has made an issue on foreign policy, it's been wrong. Every time he was vice president, every time he was senator. Biden said, not a joke. I'm too long in the tooth to fool this any longer. The president had the next presidential election is a long way off, and that the focus right now is on Democrats doing well in the midterms. Trump has not technically announced his candidacy, but said that he would be winning for a third time. During his speech at this year's Conservative Political Action Conference, also called CPAC, we'll do it again. We're going to be doing it again, Trump said with massive applause. November 2024, they will find out like never before. You notice I said that sentence differently because I've only got 16 days left in my community guideline strike, and I can't cross the line. Censorship. And then, of course, he said what they said at the CPAC meeting. Now, here's just a brief what Trump said.
But they're going to find out the hard way starting on November 8th, and then again, even more so, on November 2024, they will find out like never before.
And that's all I can play because YouTube will have a fit. Trump has consistently implied that he is running without explicitly confirming it. Trump said the socialists, globalists, Marxists, and communists who are attacking our civilization have no idea of the sleeping giant they have awoken, Trump said. We are a sleeping giant, and I hope to God that's true. Let's go back to the real story here. You implied, I'll basically say outright said, that a former president of the United States, your predecessor, mind you, wasn't like 50, 100 years ago. If I call Woodrow Wilson a racist, I have all kinds of evidence, but it wasn't 2 years ago. It was over 100. That he was a Nazi minimum sympathizer on foreign soil to foreign news agencies. My God, my God. You don't give a damn about this country. It's like an eternal affair. If you have problems with somebody in your family, you don't badmouth them to people outside the family. Your country is your family, right, wrong, or indifferent. And you lied on top of it. As far as I'm concerned, that disqualifies you from ever running for anything again. And not because I'm a Trump supporter. If Trump had did something like this, I would be up in arms. I would probably still support him, but I would be extremely disappointed. And Democrats don't blink an eye. Because frankly, 2/3 of progressive Democrats believe this bullshit. We're going to have to see what Trump said. November 2024. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.